Welcome back to the ploughed fields of Perthshire. Just me for the moment. I've messaged the other guys. I'm not sure if any of them will be able to make it or not. And today is an experimental day. I have uploaded, or basically varied, the Deep HC, the Deep High Conductivity program, or High Conductor program. Found a few different online examples. Now I know you should always vary these programs to your own needs, your own soil types and so on. However, on this occasion I thought, you know what, let's just plug one in. I've also gone with the XtoY screen, which will be the first time for me that I've done it properly. Done a little bit of reading up on it, so I figure, you know what, let's throw caution to the wind. We've made various adjustments, and hopefully this program is pretty good at finding small, particularly deep silver targets, but also any kind of coins or relics. And we know that this field has produced lots and lots and lots of milled silver coins and other relics as well, including a few hammered. So fingers crossed, there is something good to be had. Only one way to find out. It's taken a little while, probably 20 minutes to get my first decent diggable signal, and a solid 86, and you can see the XtoY. It's jumping about quite a lot, so I'm thinking that's possibly some sort of non-conformed, maybe a steel or something like that, aluminium. Only one way to find out. Trial and error. We're out at the second hole, and I wonder if that's it, and it is. So we're back on the hand grenades, I think. Yep. It is exactly the same type that I got just a couple of days ago. Same field. It's either part of a mill's hand grenade, part of the timing mechanism or the internal workings, or it is part of a mortar. One of the two. Not quite sure which, but it's because this is an old military range, or parts of the field are. So, probably dates to the World War II era, but it could be World War I. So it's either going to be around sort of 1914 through into the 1960s when the field went out of use. But still, it's a find. Well, I have to say I do like the fact that this target, or this program, when you get a high conductive signal, like just now an 84, 85, 86, it comes through like a screamer. So the line's running bottom left to top right, which is the way we want it to go. However, it's quite long, it's not very tight. It was a nice deep target, about 9 inches down, and it's a big sort of sheet of brassy, coppery alloy with a hole in it. In other words, junk. So definitely a big long line, albeit it wasn't jumping about too much. Still indicative of possible junk. Okay, it's been a little bit quiet for, it's about 45 minutes since I started, and I've only had, what, 2 diggable signals. But, trying to keep you out the wind. Pretty consistent, 73, the bar's going left to right. And it's pretty short, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. Do you see what I see? No pinpointer required. Well, unless of course you've not got very good eyesight. But right there looks like a silver coin. Pretty certain. Albert's phoning me, so I'm going to have to stop and answer it. I'll get back to you. Okay, that was Albert. He may well be joining me just shortly. I just told him, he said, how am I getting on? And I said, well, I've just found a silver coin. He said an expletive, which I will not repeat, which basically means I don't believe you. And yes, here we are, one coin. 35, looks like a number at the bottom, 1935, that would be George V. And it is a beautifully toned Georgios V. Right, let me spray the back, get the suntan lotion out. That is very nice indeed. It is a threepence, a silver 3p piece. Oh, I love the smell of that suntan lotion. I would highly recommend anyone who is a detectorist, don't mess about with these daft little bottles. You keep seeing them on other people's videos and they don't work properly. But that is George V, by the grace of God, King of the Britons, Defender of the Faith and Emperor of India. Look at the beautiful tone on that. And on the back we have got the oak leaves and the words 3p and 1935. So I think he died 2 years later, George V, euthanized by his own doctor so that his death could be announced in the morning papers. But brilliant. Well, the new programme, so far so good. I have to say it feels like I've kind of got a brand new detector because I've gone with a new programme. The only way to find out is to dig things, and I'm not honestly getting a lot of signals. This will be my 4th signal in 1 hour. Coming through at 74, 76. Relatively short lines, however, they're not running at a good angle, they're more flat, so I've not got high hopes for this one, but we'll soon find out. Well, that was a deep one, 9 inches give or take, and I think it's right there. It is. Have we got ourselves a coin? It's very thin, if it is a coin. Oh, it's literally falling apart. That is not a coin. That is a shotgun cap. You see that? It's an old one. That's the felt wad, or the sort of cardboardy sort of stuff, and it's got a brass or copper back. Just make out the firing pin mark in the centre. So there we go. But if it's finding that at that depth, then yeah, it's going to find some good stuff too. Okay, so for just now I've decided to dump the X to the Y because I just don't seem to be I know I've only found, well, 4 things or 5 things that I'll probably put in the video, plus another 5 or 10 bits of junk, but so far I wouldn't say I'm really learning a lot about it. However, back on the horseshoe, we've got a non-ferrous 70 to 71, and we've also got what looks like a piece of maybe an inkwell or an ink pot, possibly. Looks like it's had a little spout on the top, or a little top of a bottle, probably Victorian. So let's see what else there is to be had. I found it, and it is a diggable signal. I think the X to the Y is it's just too many things to change at one time. So I think let's get the eye in, or the ear in, with this program, and then once I'm happy with that it doesn't need any further adjustments, then I think I'll have a look at the X to the Y. So we've got a thimble. It's probably Victorian, probably a similar date to the little ink pot. It's not silver, it's copper alloy, and probably sometime from the reign of Queen Victoria, I'm guessing. Very small person. Wouldn't even go on my pinky, and I've got quite girly hands, so I'm continually told. But yeah, a thimble. Get a lot of these in the fields. Apparently people wore them when they stitched up sacks, and when they were bulking up the straw after harvest time. We've got an ear blower here. Ugh. 93, 96, 95. I'm not sure I need my pinpointer, because I think that is it there, and it is. I think we've got another big lump of lead. But the question is it got some purpose, or is it just a random lump? And I'm reckoning it's got some purpose, because it is pretty much perfectly circular. That is a fairly hefty piece of lead. Right, let's give it a wee bit of the treatment of the old suntan lotion and see if we've got any decoration. Is that a cross? A letter? Nope. Just a coincidence, I think. Now that is a lead weight. Definitely a lead weight. Question is, how old is the lead weight? I don't see any letters. Oh my goodness, we've been joined by Lexi, the wonder dog. Well, we're going to find something good now. That means that, yeah, we're going to find hopefully some gold, maybe a gold noble or two. And yeah, I don't see any obvious decoration. Maybe there's an X there. Maybe that's just my imagination. But it is a lead weight. Pretty chunky. Probably weighs, I'd reckon, a couple of ounces. So about 50 grams, give or take. A couple of ounces. So another sign of potential old occupation. Could be medieval. Could be older. Well, let me know in the comments below. As I often do, I've spiralled out from where I got that lead weight, and right here '80, '81, '82. Again, pretty loud signal. So let's give it a bash. And this find is literally just under the surface. Watch this. Do you see it? Do you see it? Hopefully you do. It is right here. Still getting to grips with this harness. So there it is. Yet again, another musket ball. Probably only 3 meters away from where I got that lead weight. Quite uniform. Maybe been dropped rather than fired, but it is very soft soil up here, so who knows, it could have been fired. And we're not far, we're just a couple of meters off to the side of the stone trackway that may well be from the 12th century or even earlier. Date wise, probably going to be 1700s in date roughly, but it's another good find. Mr. Martin is in with an ancient, albeit completely and utterly destroyed find because of the size, the thinness, the fact it's made of copper. We know what this is. This is a turner, which is a 2p, a copper 2p. It would have had a thistle on one side, and I've dropped it. Anyway, I'll find it in a minute, but it would have had a thistle on one side, and it would have said, "Nemo mi impune lacessit," and it is there. I see it. So yeah, it's a copper 2p piece, and it's probably from the reign of Charles I, 1625 to 1649, till he lost his head, and then his son Charles II, 1660, restored until 1685. Still, good find. It's a coin. Shows that there's something going on here in the 1600s. Hopefully more to come. Okay, I think we're within the realms of maybe a bit of lead or something. 53, 55, maybe a button. Let's give it a go. At last we're out. Deep one again, probably 10 inches down. It's in the hand. It's in the hand and pretty small, whatever it is. What's that? Here we go. That is it. It is a tiny little fragment of lead. But good depth. 9 inches, only came out in that last tiny spadeful. And a little fragment of lead. Well, I wouldn't say it's been an overly productive day, but this may well be my last signal. 72, 73, 71. Within the realms of maybe a bullet, a buckle, bit of copper or a bit of lead. Okay, we're out. It looks pretty green there. Oh, we might have a buckle. We might have a buckle. I think we've got a buckle. So there you go. Ah, it's broken. Oh, but that's a shame. Probably why it was lost in the first place, but we have got a broken buckle. It's almost as good as a buckle. There's the little notch where the pin would have fitted in. Almost certainly from a horse harness. 2 buckles in a week. Albeit this one's not quite as good or as old as the last one. I think the last one was 1600s. This one looks like it's probably 100, 150 years old. Probably off a big Shire horse that would have worked the field, pulled the plough and so on. But it's a find. Let's see if we get anything else in before I have to go. Okay, this is going to be my last signal. And it's an ear blowing 96. Could be a coin. Either that or it's aluminium. Let's find out. Well, as I say, it's all a learning curve, and what could have been a bit of silver or such like, Mr. Worm, get you back down there, is mackerel with tomato sauce. Now I'm pretty sure Pete got the lid for this the last week, so now we've got the whole vessel. So yeah, unfortunately. Well, as I say, it's a learning curve. You've got to try. I really need a field with more signals in it to have a play about with. This field is, you know, has its moments, but today it's not been very forthcoming. So next time I think I'll go out, I'll try a different field where there's a lot more targets, and that will help me get to grips with this program and see whether or not it's an improvement on my last one. So if you don't already, give me a subscription if you like what you see, and also give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment, and hopefully I'll do my best to get back to you all. So we'll see you on the next dig. Thanks for watching.